Have you ever noticed how most of your anxiety isn't about what's happening right now, but about what could happen tomorrow, or next week, or even years from now? You sit down to relax or to focus on something important, and your mind instantly begins spinning stories. What if I fail that presentation? What if I don't have enough money? What if that conversation tomorrow goes badly? What if I get sick? The scenarios stretch out like an endless movie in your head, and the more you watch them, the more real they feel. And yet, none of them are happening in this moment. The truth is, worry about the future is one of the biggest thieves of our energy and attention. It robs you not only of peace, but also of your ability to do the very things that could actually shape a better future. So here's the question: how do you stop the spiral? How do you shut down the endless stream of what-ifs and return to the calm, steady ground of the present? Surprisingly, the answer can be found in one extremely simple shift. So simple it almost feels too small to matter. But when you learn to use it, it gives you the power to stop anxious projections in their tracks and come back to now in just a few seconds. Let's start with an insight from psychology. Your brain is a prediction machine. Its main job is to constantly anticipate what's about to happen so you can prepare. From an evolutionary standpoint, this was a survival skill. Our ancestors needed to scan the horizon and imagine possible threats before they arrived. That's why worry feels so automatic. Your brain is just doing its job, trying to keep you safe by running scenarios. But in today's world, most of these scenarios aren't life or death. They're about emails, deadlines, social interactions, financial uncertainty. The brain doesn't realize that rehearsing these futures doesn't actually prepare you, it drains you. Here's the paradox. The more you try to control the future in your mind, the less control you actually feel, because the future is infinite. You can always imagine one more possible outcome, one more thing that could go wrong. That's why worry never ends on its own. To break the loop, you need something that cuts through the projection and brings your nervous system back to what is real. And that something is a 5-second grounding action I call the present switch. The present switch works on one simple principle: your body can only exist in the present. While your thoughts can run ahead to tomorrow, your senses, your breath, your touch, your hearing can only register what's happening right now. So the fastest way to stop worrying about the future is not to argue with your thoughts, not to analyze whether they're realistic, not to try to think positive. The fastest way is to step into your body. Here's how it works. The moment you catch yourself spiraling into a future scenario, pause, place one hand flat against a surface near you, your desk, your chair, your thigh, and press firmly while taking a slow, steady breath. Then ask yourself one simple question: what is happening right now? Not what might happen, not what could happen, but what is happening in this exact second. You'll realize something powerful. Right now, in this breath, you are safe. Right now, you are sitting or standing or lying down, and that is the only reality. The anxious movie loses its grip because your brain cannot simultaneously spin an imagined future and fully anchor into a physical present. That's the switch, and it takes only 5 seconds. Why does this work so quickly? Because anxiety lives in abstraction. It thrives on mental time travel. It can only survive when you are lost in then or later. The moment you come into the concrete sensory reality of now, anxiety has no oxygen. Think about it like this. If your thoughts are a balloon rising into the future, the present switch is the string that pulls it back to your hand. It doesn't mean the balloon disappears. You might still have concerns about tomorrow, but you're no longer being lifted away by them. You're grounded, with both feet on the floor, and from that grounded place you can actually decide what to do next, instead of drowning in what-ifs. Now let me take you a layer deeper, because there's a hidden power here most people overlook. Every time you use the present switch, you're not just calming yourself in the moment, you're training your brain to stop equating future thought with danger. Right now, when your mind starts to imagine negative outcomes, your nervous system reacts as if they are already happening. Heart rate goes up, breathing gets shallow, muscles tighten. But if, in that exact moment, you bring yourself back with a grounding action and a question, your brain learns something new. Future thought does not equal present threat. Over time, this literally rewires your threat response. Your brain begins to relax even when the future comes to mind, because it has learned to distinguish between imagination and reality. That's why a 5-second habit can change your entire relationship with worry. You're teaching your nervous system to stop treating every what-if as a crisis. You're reminding it that peace exists here, not there. To make this model unforgettable, let's frame it as a 3-step loop. Notice, switch, return. First, You notice when your mind drifts into anxious projection. The key is not to judge yourself for it. It's what the brain is wired to do. Second, you switch by using your senses. The hand press, the breath, the question, what is happening right now? Third, you return to the present by naming one concrete detail around you. I feel the chair under me. I hear the hum of the room. I see the light on the wall. That detail is the tether that holds you here. Notice, switch, return. 3 steps, 5 seconds, a lifetime of calm. This becomes your mental model for escaping future worry. Anytime anxiety tries to steal you away, you use the loop to come back. And every time you come back, you're strengthening the muscle of presence. Now, let me ask you this. What would your day look like if you weren't constantly pulled into imagined futures? Imagine waking up without that tightness in your chest about tomorrow's workload. Imagine walking into a meeting and not rehearsing 10 different disasters in your head. Imagine falling asleep without looping through endless what-ifs. This is not a fantasy. It's what happens when you consistently use the present switch. You don't eliminate uncertainty, you eliminate its power over you. The future remains unknown, but the unknown no longer paralyzes you because you know how to come back. And that single skill, the ability to return, is the foundation of resilience. Let's tie this to something practical you can try today. Choose one specific moment where anxiety tends to strike. Maybe it's right before bed. Maybe it's when you check your inbox. Maybe it's when you think about an upcoming event. The next time it happens, instead of letting the spiral run, use the loop. Notice that your mind is in the future. Switch with the hand press, the breath, the question. Return by naming one detail of your current reality. Then, watch what happens. You'll feel a small but undeniable shift. The spiral slows. Your body relaxes, and you realize the future can wait. Right now, you are okay. That realization, repeated again and again, is what rebuilds your sense of inner safety. And when you feel safe in the present, you finally have the energy to create a better future, without fear driving you. This is the paradox I want you to remember. The less you cling to controlling tomorrow in your head, the more capable you become of shaping it with your actions. Anxiety tries to convince you that worrying is preparation. But the truth is, worrying is the opposite of preparation. It steals the focus and calm you need to act. The present switch gives you that focus back in seconds. And when you act from presence instead of panic, your decisions improve, your confidence grows, and your future actually changes for the better. That's the irony. The fastest way to build a strong future is to stop living in it. Let's take this further, because the real transformation happens not just when you use the present switch once, but when you weave it into the fabric of your daily life. Think of it as a skill, like learning to play an instrument. At first, every note feels clumsy. You forget. You slip back into old patterns of worrying about tomorrow. But with repetition, the action becomes smoother, easier, and eventually second nature. The beauty of the present switch is that it doesn't require hours of practice. It requires moments. 5 seconds here and there sprinkled through your day. And those moments add up, reconditioning your nervous system. The next time your mind starts playing the what-if movie, your body will remember. Press the hand, breathe, ask, what is happening right now? It will become a natural reflex, as automatic as catching your balance when you trip. That's when you know the practice has become part of you. Now let's anchor this into a powerful image, something you can carry with you. Imagine that every anxious thought about the future is like a balloon filled with helium, tugging at your hand. One balloon might be tomorrow's meeting, another might be your finances, another, your health. Left unchecked, you're holding dozens of strings, all pulling you upward away from the ground. No wonder you feel tense. You're being lifted by worries that don't even exist yet. The present switch is the act of tightening your grip on the one balloon string that matters, the present moment. By pressing your hand, taking the breath, asking the question, and noticing one detail around you, you cut the strings of those floating balloons one by one until you're grounded again. It's not about controlling the future, it's about releasing it so it no longer controls you. This visual makes the process easy to remember. When you feel the pull, you cut the string. When you cut the string, you return. But here's something even more profound. By using the present switch, you don't just reduce anxiety, you actually unlock clarity. Have you ever noticed how worry muddies your thinking? When your brain is lost in scenarios, it can't distinguish between what's likely, what's important, and what's just noise. You get stuck rehearsing instead of acting. But when you return to the present, something shifts. Your thinking sharpens. You see what actually needs to be done, and often it's much simpler than what you imagined. A conversation, a single task, a phone call. Anxiety paints the future as a giant monster. Presence reveals it as a few manageable steps. That clarity is priceless because it means you don't just feel calmer, you become more effective. And effectiveness is the antidote to worry. When you act from a place of grounded focus, you build evidence that you can handle life. And evidence kills fear. Now you might ask, but what if the future really is uncertain? What if there are things I genuinely can't control? That's exactly why this practice is so powerful. The present switch doesn't deny uncertainty, it embraces it. It reminds you that the only place you ever have power is now. You can't guarantee tomorrow's outcome, but you can ground yourself right here, take the next right step, and trust that resilience grows with each return. In fact, the more uncertain your future feels, the more valuable this skill becomes. It's like having an anchor in a storm. You can't stop the waves, but you can stop yourself from drifting away. That's why some of the most successful and resilient people in the world don't avoid uncertainty. They learn how to stay calm within it. And the present switch is your entry point into that mindset. So let's put it into practice one last time right here as you listen. Take a slow breath in. Place your hand firmly on the surface in front of you. Ask yourself, what is happening right now? Notice one detail, the sound around you, the feeling of your hand, the temperature of the air. That's reality. That's the only thing that exists. And if you can find calm here in this single moment, then you already have everything you need. The anxious stories can wait. Tomorrow will come when it comes. But today, you've discovered how to stop being dragged into it. Here's the final thought I want you to walk away with. Anxiety about the future is not a flaw in you. It's a feature of the human brain, one that once kept our species alive. But just because it's natural doesn't mean it has to rule you. You now have a way to flip the switch. Notice, switch, return. That's the loop. 5 seconds to stop the spiral and come back to presence. Every time you practice, you weaken the grip of worry and strengthen the muscle of calm. Over time, you'll notice something extraordinary. You no longer dread the future because you know you can handle it. You've trained yourself to return again and again to the one place where peace is always available, the present. And that is the most powerful skill you can carry into an uncertain world. So here's my invitation. Don't wait until your next wave of anxiety to try this. Practice today. Practice in a small, calm moment so your body learns the rhythm. Press your hand, breathe, ask, what is happening right now? Notice one detail, that's it. Make it a ritual, a personal anchor. Then, when the storms come, and they will, you'll already know how to return. And when you return, you'll discover that peace was never out,